Hello, friends. Tom Downey and Mitchell Renz here for Chat Sports. Folks, it is NFL draft season officially. Regular season is now over, and we know the order for the first 20 picks in the NFL draft. Mitchell, the Arizona Cardinals have locked up the #1 overall pick.
Locked up the #1 overall pick, which they tried to give it away in Week 17.
Just tank, guys. It's okay.
But I don't know.
Maybe not because you were trying to save your job, but still.
I get it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. The Cardinals, I think, are the team that I might not actually want the #1 overall pick out of all these teams we were talking about before.
Trade down.
We could see them possibly trading down. Do they really want maybe the pick that I think is going to be the #1 overall pick, Nick Bosa?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure. But 49ers, Jets, Raiders.
Niners and Raiders, and even the Jets too, would love to get Nick Bosa.
I'll tell you right now, I would love for the Raiders to be able to get Nick Bosa, but they'd have to give up way too much to get him.
So who will be the #1 overall pick? Let us know your early prediction in the comment section. Nick Bosa is really your favorite. I think Quinnen Williams is the next man up. He's an immensely talented interior defensive lineman out of Alabama. And then you always have to mention the quarterback. And in a bad class this year, there's just DWAYNE HASKINS. So maybe a team gets desperate and says, we got to go get our guy, and they slide up and make a big trade up with the Arizona Cardinals.
So who's going to be the #1 overall pick? If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, let us know. Who's going to be the #1 overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft?
All right, so none of those top 4 teams, in theory, needed a quarterback, but as I mentioned to you earlier this week, you're going to see rumors around Derek Carr and the Raiders because NFL teams will leak it to force a team to trade up. Even other teams, they might not even be true rumors. The Bucs at 5, sounds like they'll stick with Jameis Winston.
I think they should.
The New York Giants, 1 spot ahead of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That gives them a spot now, in theory, barring a trade, to get Haskins if that's the way it ends up working out.
I think the Giants and Jags both look at their rosters like, all right, we need a new quarterback, and who's going to go up and get it? The Lions sitting there, they don't need a quarterback. They still, for some reason, think Matthew Stafford's the answer. But, Tom, if I looked at you right now and I said, okay, DWAYNE HASKINS is on the board. There's a lot of rumors that the Raiders might take him. Heck, rumors that any team's going to take him. Between the Giants and the Jags, who do you think would be the more likely team to trade up?
I think Jacksonville would. Because the Giants, for some reason, seem to still believe a little bit in Eli Manning. Jacksonville literally has nothing right now. I mean, I'd rather have Eli than Blake Bortles and Cody Kessler. So I think Jacksonville.
I'd rather have Tommy Toupee than Blake Bortles.
Thank you for that one. All right, now, there's been a bit of confusion here, and we'll get our logo switched around to get them correct here because it is the Bills and the Broncos have had a little bit of a disagreement as of late because there was some confusion on social media about which team would actually end up getting the higher spot. Now, the initial thought was something was wrong there. So the Bills right now, we'll get that pushed over right now for you guys. The Bills are going to get the 9th pick. Denver will get the 10th pick. The way it breaks down, it's much like the playoffs. Strength of schedule is first. Yep. They're tied. Conference record, they're both tied at 4-8. Common games, both 1-4. Then it's strength of victory. Denver has the better strength of victory. Therefore, they get the worst pick behind the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
So there you go. So that is how it's going to break down. Not officially announced by the NFL, but that's what's going to happen there. The Bengals, number 11. Maybe they can get a linebacker finally. The Green Bay Packers need to get Aaron Rodgers some help. They're picking at number 12. Number 13, the Miami Dolphins. Maybe in that, it'll be time to reach for a quarterback range at number 13. Seems like Cannon won't be back. Falcons, they're going to get a nice defensive lineman, I bet. The Redskins at 15. Carolina at number 16. They kind of hurt themselves as well sitting there with the number 16 overall pick. Quick thoughts on those ones, Mitch?
I mean, the Falcons, I think when they entered this year, we were like, wow, this Falcons team is absolutely loaded. And just the injuries. The injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball, just decimated that team, which was really frustrating to see because I think the Falcons were one of the more talented teams, just unfortunately, a lot of injuries. And then even the Panthers. Panthers were playing really solid football, and then just the injuries at the end of the year just really took its
Newton was
toll.
not right down the stretch.
Yeah, that's a fact.
All right, then your final 4 picks, some unexpected ones there. The Cleveland Browns at number 17.
Wow.
From 1 to 17. Thank you, Baker Mayfield. Minnesota, well, they didn't have their best showing this year. They slid down quite a bit. The Kirk Cousins are not so smart. Yeah.
I mean, I think you could argue that Kirk Cousins may be the most overrated or overpaid quarterback in this year.
I think that's the case right now. Titans at number 19 thanks to their loss against the Colts. And the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 20, the first team out of the playoff race.
Yeah, I think out of all these teams, I think the Steelers is the one that I'm the most surprised about that didn't make the playoffs. But if you would have told me, Tom, back before the season started, that the Browns and Vikings were going to be back-to-back, I'd be like, holy heck, the Browns made the playoffs.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Incredible.
All right, so one last question for you guys. Dwayne Haskins, assuming he does declare, which I would be stunned if he didn't, will be your first quarterback and all likelihood off the board this year. So who will draft him? Top targets right now, Giants, Jags. I predict the Jags will go up and trade for him.
Well, if that's what you're going to go with it, I'm going to start the rumor train that the Oakland Raiders are interested in Dwayne Haskins.
All right, folks, let us know in the comment section what you think, and stay tuned. Later on in the week, we'll have a new mock draft for you coming up in a little bit.